Hello, hello everyone, and welcome to the Coach's Four Quarters radio show. And my name is Coach Joseph Lee Jr. Now, I want to bring to you a very special guest, and I would like to introduce a humble, a disciplined, and committed to the downhill smash mouth football. My dear friend from Putting Kids First, Coach Shawn Green. Hi, Shawn.
Thank you. Hey, thank you, hey, Coach.
How you doing, young man? How's my friend doing?
All right. I want to thank God and you for giving me the opportunity to be on your show.
You have it. I want to let you know, again, I'm excited. I'm humble. I'm just tickling all over. Because I've waited so long to get you on this show, and now I have you.
100%.
Right. The first thing is we're going to start out with, I want my listeners to know a little about you and your humble upbringings and your coaching upbringings until this point right here. So we're going to listen and let you take the floor and tell us about it, Coach.
Well, I grew up in Compton, California, and I played a little pop water growing up, but I developed a real passion for football once I got into high school. I've had the opportunity to get into coaching early in my career as a younger man, and I've been doing it since around 1990. And unfortunately, I could probably count on one hand my total losses. I only lose if I lose. It's going to be in a big game, Coach. It ain't going to be in no season.
I like that. I like that. Now, Coach, when, like I said, we know when, and you. So again, you started out coaching where?
I started out coaching. I made my debut at Dolphin Park in Carson, California, coaching no flag football.
And why did you start coaching?
Well, a buddy of mine had a son who was turning 6, and his wife knew how quick, she didn't want to be too hard on his son, so she asked me, could I go out there and help my buddy coach? And it's been downhill ever since. I did a couple years in flag, and then my other co-worker that introduced us to tackle over there, we joined the Compton Titans in '92. Then they merged with the Snoop League. Then they became the Compton Vikings. After that, a brief tour with them, I went to the Carson Colts. That is where I pretty much collected the championships.
And can you ask me a question? Well, we all know that we have great football players coming out of that area. We know we have Richard Sherman.
Yes.
From in that area. We also know that the Beast Mode, he's out of that area. And so we know that too. So can you tell people or my listeners just where Compton is?
Compton, California is the hub city. We call it the hub city because all freeways surround it. The 105, the 710, the 110, and the 91. It's the heart of LA to me. Down the street from Watts, if that gives you a clue.
Well, we'll get into that. Now, we know that you just didn't get into it. We know that you had to have plenty of motivation, as we'll talk about the coach in that area. Can you tell me where your motivation comes from, Coach?
You know, my motivation comes from it's seeing something develop, blossoming into something beautiful from just a seed. I really enjoy watching a kid make a complete 360. I'm just trying to give him an opportunity to have a better life for himself. It's real rewarding when you don't have any expectations.
I like that.
I don't want nothing from no kid. I just want them to, I'd be happy if a player I coach just said, hey, coach, I made it.
So what,
I have
what message do you got? What message do you have to give the kids of the future? Like, you know.
Well, I would like them to remember this time, to be safe. First of all, be safe, play smart. But this time is short, so enjoy it. Hone your craft, be a student of the game. Try to learn, it's just like being in a class. Try to learn as much information as you can, process it, and then apply it.
Yes, sir. I like that. Now, what players and coaches have you particularly enjoyed collaborating during your coaching career so far? You coach, because it's not over with. You're going to coach until you're an old man, and I know that. Oh, yes. But what coaches do you enjoy coaching with or being around, and, you know, type of things like that, and learning?
Well, you know, there's so many that I can name. The list goes on and on. But yourself, you made an impact on me for the time that we've encountered each other. You really changed the game for me, looking at it through your eyes. But and players, I've had the opportunity to coach family members. I got my godson, Kobe. I've been coaching. He was a beast on the field this season. He was a bright spot for me because I'm used to going to a Super Bowl. I really enjoyed watching him. And Coach Z too. He's a missile. I don't know who the kid was you were interviewing, but that kid's a missile.
The quiet ones are.
Yeah. He's probably back in his drawers playing a video game right now.
Well, he gave a great interview.
Oh, yes, he did. Yes, he did. He's one of the best kids I've ever coached.
And I was very proud of him. Now, we're going to get into it now. We're going to talk, and let's break this down. I wanted you to tell me about the downhill football, smash mouth football game. And young coaches. Come on.
First of all you coaches who are buying into that spread, that counter, all that trickery, the end zone's not east and west. It's north and south. At some time, you're going to meet up with someone who's an equal, if not better team than you, and you're going to have to learn how to figure it out. When you can move the ball, it's all about moving in chains. Sometimes you got to buckle down. Your team is an extension of the coaching staff. If you don't believe you can do it, the team's not going to believe you can do it. I don't like losing. I don't have a speech prepared for a loss. Unfortunately, it does happen. We'll deal with that when it happens. But I always got a speech for a congratulations speech ready.
All right. And so you got a group of kids come out.
Yes, sir.
They're all new. They 7-year-olds. Let's say 7. Let's go 8, 9-year-olds.
Babies.
And they say, we want to win, and you have to break down, teach the coaches and teach the players your style of football. How do we start teaching? Let's teach. Let's go. Okay,
first of all, I have to identify who are the alphas from the Bravos. Alpha, everyone in the football community should understand what an alpha is. An alpha is a kid that does not come off the field. And that applies to offense and defense. And then I determine the requirements for positions after I find out what type of player I have and where they would be best suited. Everyone cannot play the same position. A lot of parents and coaches think that their kids are running backs and receivers and quarterbacks. Unfortunately, they're not. So that is where we come in as a staff and a coach to let you know where Johnny or Billy or whoever is going to be playing, what position.
All right.
Oh, it's a lot going into this. It's not just sign your kid up and he comes out and throws the ball. We got to look at your footwork and your does your head on a swivel?
What you said. Now, how do you know how do you teach and see footwork? Because now my listeners are young. We got coaches coming out that have never coached before. So I want you to break it down, Coach Green, and talk to us and tell us your breakdown methods. How do you teach it? Your individual.
Okay, first of all, before everything starts, we have a parent coaches conference. And we tell the coaches and the 10 parents what we expect of them and what we're doing. We establish this relationship. If they don't like it, they're more than welcome to move on. But we let them know this is how our camp is going to be. Most parents enjoy the discipline because when a kid's acting up at home, it carries out into the field. And we do a lot of disciplining on the field. You can't win if you're not disciplined. It's pure and simple. Discipline is an essential part of this. Once you establish the discipline, the kid is starving to learn. Kids are like sponges at all ages. They have a desire they want to please you. Sometimes it just takes I see you, Tony, I see you, son, I see you. And all of a sudden they believe and they're playing at another level. But it comes with hard work and practice. I believe the game is played before the game is even scheduled on Saturday. You got to do your work between Monday and Friday, whatever days your scheduled practice. That's when the game is actually played. Anything else you want me to break down, Coach? I could go on and on if you want.
I'm listening, sir. I'm listening because I want to know now. We got 5 men up front. We got old linemen up front that you're teaching. These are young kids. Now we got to get their footwork right. They got to know the formations. They have to know blocking assignments. And you have some time to tell me. We don't have a lot, but you have something to tell me. So I'm listening.
Okay. After we have an orientation with the kids and everyone goes through our little workout, the coaches collaborate. And most of them have kids that they're watching who they think is up to par. And you come into you get to know the kid for a couple of days. You make you up an alpha squad. That's your starting offense. And then what you have left over is a Bravo offense. And then you do the same thing on defense. You write that, you get the alpha defense who you want. And sometimes the alpha offense is the same kid on defense. It doesn't matter. After these kids get the balance for a whole week, they don't know who's who. And you can't tell who's offense, who's alpha offense, who's alpha defense. That's when you know you're growing as a team. Because nobody wants to get walked over every day in practice.
That's true.
And you can't allow it. That's when your coaching staff grows. They're gonna watch coaches that are green, that have no experience, they're gonna be watching it first. So that's when you start coaching them. Say, hey, get involved. Start coaching that kid up. Don't worry about what I'm telling this kid over here. You get that kid ready to play. When you create opposition and it's all about creating a game situation. You know, the more game situation they see, the more prepared they are game day.
And young people, my listeners, young coaches, we're speaking to Coach Green from experience because this is thing that Coach Green didn't want to bring it out, but I want you to know. Coach Green is the winningest coach. Go on, say it. The winningest coach in what? Coach Green is the winningest coach in what? That's it, Coach Green. What is it?
Are you referring to Ocjam football? Youth football?
Youth football.
I've been blessed. I've been blessed to have good players and been part of good teams.
But he is the winning. I'm gonna go back to it because Coach Green is going all around me. Coach Green is the winningest coach. And what? Coach Green?
I got a big slice of humble pie in front of me. I can't.
We want to hear it. I want my listeners to hear it because when you teach, I want them to know where it comes from. I want them to know that you have the authority to teach. and you have the background to teach. So again, Coach Green is the winningest coach in where?
Youth football.
In youth football. And should I bring your nephew on with me on my show? Because I know he's sitting there. Is he sitting there?
Yes, he's not too far. He's not too far.
Bring him to the window.
You know, Coach.
Bring him to the window.
You, everyone you encounter. I wish I had the impact that you do on people.
But we're not talking about me right now.
Okay, all right.
We're talking about Coach Shawn Green. Where is your nephew at, Coach Shawn Green?
It's my pride and joy. This is my alpha right here. This is the current alpha player that I've been coaching.
Put his head in the window. Son, young man, put your head in the window. I'm not talking about Kobe. I know Kobe's there. Where's Ken? Where's your dad, Kobe?
Right here.
He is the winningest coach in what?
Youth football.
And youth football in what city?
Carson, California.
In Carson, California. I want my listeners to know that he is the winningest coach in Carson, California history. He has won more football games at the youth level than any other coach in Carson, California history. And Carson, California is a big place. So now, when he speaks on the downhill football game and teaching the running backs, we're all going to listen. You have the floor, Coach Green.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'm really humbled. I really am.
And we know that.
I've been so used to the team concept and effort that it's hard to accept a personal compliment. It's just like you when you watch the game. You can't. It's hard for you to enjoy a game anymore because your ability.
I understand, but we're on Coach Green today. So Coach Green, I love you, Coach Green. Now we need to teach the quarterbacks and the running backs about the downhill game. Can you give us a little insight on it?
Well, the quarterback and the running back's relationship has to be very tight. I'm a student and a firm believer in off-tackle football. That's what it's originally called, off-tackle. You can have counter plays mixed up a little bit, but if you can consistently move those chains in off-tackle football, then you will guarantee yourself to have a successful and be competitive in any game that you engage in. You must, that is the foremost play that you have to develop in your team. You have to be able to call that team, you have to be able to call off tackle on the first, second, third, fourth, so that when you call that particular play, that your team is it's just embedded in their mind that they know that they're going to move that ball on that play. It's just second to none.
Well, give us a walkthrough on some of your off tackle because we're new and we want
Okay. First of all, it's like a pop gun. You have to know every player speed is a different. It's how you got to recognize how long it takes a kid to hit the hole, and you want to put them in a position. Sometimes you have to have a kid close. Sometimes you have to let a kid let the hole open, and the kid has to see it before he can go up in there. But when you can develop a system where you can pound the ball off tackle, you want to get through the hole before the linebacker has an opportunity to respond. Once you can get a linebacker to commit, which I know is difficult in your system to trick a linebacker, but if you can get a linebacker to commit into that hole, then that gives you an opportunity to run your counters and everything else. But you have to have a guy that's going to drop that shoulder in that off tackle slot. He's got to be able to carry the ball at least 10 to 12 times during the game.
Now, how do you get the lineman to walk through in the off tackle? Now we know what we got in the back.
Okay.
But you taught there. So now
Okay.
we quickly walk through the lineman block.
Okay. That develops during individuals. Okay. When you have when you're running off tackle, the linebackers are usually cleanup guys. So you want to make sure you eliminate the cleanup guy if you happen to pop one. Sometimes the guys miss tackles in the trenches. They go through the holes or the heads down. You might get lucky. But if you got a good cleanup guy at linebacker, that's the one. That's where you got to get a hat on them linebackers. Once you get to that next level, it allows you to move the chains freely. The quarterback has a responsibility to always roll out and watch the backside. He's got to sell the play, regardless if it's going to keep it or if he's giving it away. He's got to commit to the same motion every play, regardless of where it's going.
So he has to win an Oscar, no matter what it is.
Exactly, sir. He has got to win an Oscar. He wants that Emmy.
All right. I'm enjoying this now. I mean, we because me and you, we sit down, and I want my listeners to know that me and Coach Green sit down and we go all day long about football. And this man right here is one of the most he brings a part of football to the table that makes me think for a minute. Okay, so I know just how good it is now. We got the linemen blocking, we got the running backs, and we got the quarterback on the same page. Now, what do we do to the receivers? How do we get them to play in the smash mouth?
Okay, receivers are a big part of the blocking scheme, believe it or not. They have to learn how to seal edges and be able to sell the play. You might need to you might have to send him on a mission. You might need him to occupy the safety. It depends on, as a coaching staff, you have to recognize who you're playing or who you're dealing with. It might be one guy on the other side of the field just killing you, making all the tackles. So and everybody else might be slacking a little bit on the defense. Okay. If we got a problem, you can eliminate that guy who's causing all the problems with the receiver, believe it or not.
And do you come out and you also in that downhill game? Do you have a passing program off of that?
Actually, I'm really fundamentally sound. I really like to keep the ball on the ground. It's when you start buying into, oh, this guy's not going to throw it. When I see that you think of me in that fashion, that's when I try to take advantage of the pass. I don't throw the ball unless it's absolutely necessary or I'm trying to go for the kill.
All right. Now, I know that you also, even though you are the innovator to the downhill game, in which you are, I also know you do some defense. So how do you feel about your defense on your team against the smash mouth?
Oh, I'm a firm believer in a 5-man front. You can run basically anything off of that. You can cover the pass and the run. I like to be flexible with my linebackers. That's who I mainly run the defense through, is the linebackers. I try to take pressure off of corners and the secondary. I try to make the field smaller.
Right, because we know that, and we know that you have experience in that. And as I mentioned before, to my listeners, small and coaches that are coming, Coach Shawn is always has an ear for anyone that needs any type of advice or someone that's starting out coaching and wanting to ask questions. Coach Shawn is a partner and also a co-owner in the Putting Kids First program, which I belong to and happily belong to, the Putting Kids First organization, a nonprofit organization that is in Victorville, California. And they do constantly during the summer, and they train all the time. And this is how I met these young people. They train constantly, footwork, football skills. They also do, his wife does things with, Coach Kent's wife does things with the girls. They have a thing where they put everything together and do hair, nails, cheerleading, the whole shot. But to get back to it, Coach Shawn and Coach Kent have been training players in the off season for almost 4 to 5 years now. So Coach Green is always there for someone that wants to train. Again, he is the most winningest coach in Carson, California, Pop Warner football history. So that means something. That means that this man knows football. So I am very happy to know him, more than happy to call him my friend.
Thank you, Coach.
And I want to thank him today for coming on the show and talking about the downhill game and talking about the things that he does in football. And I want to let him know that I am humble, I am excited, I am always excited to see him come and go and be around me. Anytime he calls, I'm coming over, come on. And I want everyone to know that he is a great, great man of football. Now, Coach, I want to ask you about the AYS on the gridiron share and compare program for standings. What do you think about that?
Well, you know, Coach, I'm not really a numbers on paper guy. I'm more of a let's go behind the shed and work it out. You know, let's talk about it on the field. You know, but anything that can enhance the game or that can promote a player or get someone recognition to get to the next level or to better their life, I'm all for that.
Coach Green.
Yes, sir.
You've heard it coming in. So what do you think about our AYS on the gridiron share and compare program?
I think it's an excellent opportunity for an individual kid to excel and be exposed at another level that he never had the opportunity before. I realize now that some kids just don't have that opportunity or exposure, and that would be a great stepping stone for anyone in any position to be able to make a name for themselves or to give a coach an idea so he doesn't have to sit on the bench for 2 seasons or whatever, to at least give him a good look. I do believe that that's a good idea.
That's right. That's right. You've heard it all. Now you've heard it. My listeners have heard it. The all-time great coach from Carson, California. This coach has won more football games than any other coach in Carson, California, Pop Warner history. And I want to let you know I am humble. I thank you for coming on. I am overjoyed. I'm sparkling off through my feet and toes the whole shot. Shawn Green, Coach Shawn Green, thank you so much for coming on my show.
Thank you, sir. It was my pleasure. My pleasure.